Greetings, YouTube. I decided to leave the lights on because I like them. We have a part at work that runs in my area that's a 2-press operation. 4 cavities each press, all rubber. It's horrible. It is the worst job in the place for me. It does more harm to my hands than any other part we got. It hurts my hands every single friggin' part I do. And over the course of a shift, you could do 1,800 pieces, and they hurt every single time. Well, lately we've been having some loaner help. People from other areas in the building have coming to help us because their areas are a little slow, and we need the bodies. Some of it's because of vacation, and some of it's just because we don't have enough bodies at this point. We've been having a hard time getting people to come work on third shift. Though I think we just added a bunch, like 19 people to our company across different shifts. And the loaners are not running 2 presses. Now, we tried having them run 2 presses, but they had a difficult time with it, and we're making rejects, so the packer was spending too much time examining the pieces instead of just packing them. So we're having those people run 1 press, 4 cavities, at a 50-second cycle. When you run 2 presses, it's at a 60-second cycle. And though I usually run 1 at 60 and 1 at 55 because I want them opening at the same time, essentially. And when I first realized this, that this person, there's a couple of people, are only running 1 press, the emotional part of me, my emotional response was anger. Like, well, why don't they have to run 2 presses? Why are they getting off easy? But that's ugly. That isn't helping. Why do I want those people to suffer? I don't want to suffer. I don't want to be in pain when I'm running those parts. So why should I desire that for another person? I shouldn't. Because I have suffered does not mean that anyone else should suffer in the same way. And that is a big philosophical difference between one way to look at the world as opposed to another, where the attitude is, well, I have suffered, so those people should suffer as well. Or it's okay if they suffer. The harshest is they should suffer as well. I suffered, they should suffer. The less egregious is I have suffered, it's okay if they suffer. And the one I'm striving for is I have suffered. Nobody else should suffer. We should fix the system. We should do something about those parts because they're so hard to trim. Now, the probability of them doing anything about those molds and making them operate properly is about as much chance as I'm going to spontaneously grow hair. But I still think it's someone's duty to do it. And the fact that they don't, in my mind, is an indictment of our management structure. They're not doing their job. They're allowing a situation to continue where people are in pain every single damn day. That's not fair. Now, we've had operators over there who are lickety-split, just cruising through those parts, making unbelievable bloody numbers. Like 1,200 pieces when rate's a little bit over 9. It's just amazing. And the guy was 22. I'm 56. It's a big difference between 22 and 56. There's a whole lot more miles on these. A whole lot more pain, less flexibility, more swelling, more anguish, more suffering. And because I have suffered, the part of me that wants to live a life of compassion and sympathy and empathy doesn't want anybody else to suffer either. I still had that emotional response, but that's the hurt child inside. And it's good to acknowledge it. It's good to accept it. It's good to know that, yes, it's there, it exists, and I need to take care of it. But it isn't the way to live. And we shouldn't live that way. If you have suffered anything, you should not want anyone else to have to suffer the same thing you did. And if possible, we should be doing what we can to reduce or eliminate that suffering. Now, some things we can't. There are things in life that we're never going to be able to reduce or completely mitigate away. But if we can, and we don't, that's an indictment of the system. Whether it's lack of housing, or health care, or education, or food, or something as simple as making sure a mold works so people's hands don't hurt. If I have suffered, you should not. That's a pretty good way to look at the world. And if we all did it, think how better things would be.